I seriously can't go blabbing on about Mitsubishi without tossing Subaru into the mix as well. That would be downright criminal. You see, these two used to be like two warring samurai warriors. Scrappy underdogs versus towering giants. Back in the day, Subaru was this tiny, unknown upstart, peddling odd little cars with engines that sounded like a sewing machine thanks to their unusual flat boxer layout. Meanwhile, Mitsubishi was this enormous, intimidating corporation mass-producing everything from fighter planes to oil tankers. But plucky little Subaru had the last laugh when its weird engines absolutely dominated the World Rally Championships in the 90s and early 2000s. Suddenly little Samurai Warrior was galloping onto the scene and bopping the massive Samurai Warrior Mitsubishi right on the nose with flawless victory after victory. It was an epic underdog tale that stunned the automotive world. These days the script may have flipped again, but you still can't say Mitsubishi without sparing a thought for scrapping Subaru. Founded amidst the rubble of post-war Japan, Subaru emerged phoenix-like from the merger of 6 clever little companies, each bringing their own unique genius to the party. These were the club members. Number 1, Nakajima Aircraft Company. Number 2, Fuji Kogyo. Number 3, Omiya Fuji Kogyo. Number 4, Utsunomiya Sharyo. Number 5, Tokyo Fuji Sangyo. And number 6, FHI's Automotive Operations, Chikuhei Nakajima. The feisty little Nakajima Aircraft Company who swapped making warplanes for fashioning far safer vehicles. I hate war. Well done, Nakajima. Joining forces with the likes of plucky Fuji Kogyo and their vehicular know-how, Subaru was already shaping up to be a proper little rascal. That opposing boxer engine was shaping up nicely. Then along came Utsunomiya Sharyo, who thought they'd bring some railway DNA to the Subaru gene pool, and the result was automotive awesomeness just waiting to happen. But the icing on the cake was car-mad genius Chikuhei Nakajima, who really got Subaru's engine revving. This magnificent seven formed Fuji Heavy Industries in 1953, and the rest is history. Little Subaru wasted no time zooming from naught to rally hero as it charged round hairpin bends and slid sideways through forests, much to petrolheads' delight. Okay kids, gather around and let Granddaddy tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a giant called Fuji Heavy Industries who decided to start an automotive division back in 1953. They needed a jolly good name for their upcoming nippy little vehicles. And they found inspiration way up there in the night sky, my friends. In a little star cluster called the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters. The Japanese name for this glittering formation is Subaru, and it comes from an ancient idea of the stars being united or clustered together. How poetic. Now what's all this about the Pleiades popping up in the Bible? I hear you ask? Well, by Jove. We motoring and theological types just can't seem to escape each other. Turns out these 7 sisters get a couple of shout-outs in the good book, specifically the book of Job. In chapter 9, old Job mentions good old Subaru, or the Pleiades I should say, alongside Orion and other constellations as being some of God's craftsmanship up in the heavens. Then later on in chapter 38, God cheekily challenges Job and asks if he can bind the chains of the Pleiades, or loosen Orion's belt, which I'd say is a polite way of telling Job not to get too big for his boots in questioning the Almighty. I'm guessing Subaru was probably thinking, yeah, go on then. Try and stop this heavenly alignment of automotive engineering. In essence, the name was chosen to reflect the unification of several companies coming together under the FHI umbrella. The 6 stars in the Subaru logo represent the 6 companies that merged to form FHI. As you are now an honorary car historian, there we have it. Subaru and the Pleiades star cluster share an ancient bond of unity that spans cosmological and theological history. And just like you can't restrain those glittering stars from journeying across the night sky together, you won't be able to stop the inexorable rise of Subaru on their crusade to bring us exciting motor cars. That sounds awesome. I think this will be the channel's mission statement. Precision Creations is on a crusade to bring you eyeball-feasting motor cars videos. What do you guys think? Friends, I have a joke. Why did the Pleiades get invited to all the cosmic parties? Because they were 7 sisters. Okay, moving on swiftly. Subaru's mission was crystal clear. Build affordable little runarounds for Japan's city slickers. No flashy fancy pants luxury limos here, just honest, hardworking family cars, thank you very much. Let me tell you, when it comes to powertrains, the 1954 Fuji Heavy Industries P1 prototype, aka Subaru, was working with a couple of spicy engine options. First up we had the FG4A, sourced from Peugeot 202, built by Fuji Precision Tech, later known as the Prince Motor Company. How cool is that name? Very royal if you ask me. This peppy little 1.5-liter engine was cranking out 48 horsepower. Now I know what you're thinking. 1,500cc. In a 50s family jalopy, that can't be much faster than a bicycle downhill. Then we have the L41, cooked up in-house by Fuji themselves. Still 1,500cc but more efficient than the FG4A. 20% lighter and more powerful at 55 ponies. Now that's what I call a glow-up. Get this. Only 20 P1 cars were ever built, all in 1954. Like, how rare is that? Over half got that fancy L41 engine upgrade. Talk about exclusive, dudes. Handling was as follows. Front, independent wishbone suspension. Rear, leaf spring suspension with 3 plates and a live rear axle. This thing was a baby learning to crawl. Subaru was slowly adding to their DNA. And guess what? Fuji let local taxi companies test drive these bad boys, and they passed with flying colors. So, a tip of my hat to those legendary P1 prototypes paving the way for Subaru. In fact, legend has it that the very first 1,500 test models had to drive all the way across Japan just to qualify as Tokyo's next beefy police car. You see, Subaru knew that to succeed in cars they had to understand their customers, and contribute to getting Japan motoring after the war. A quest to unite the nation with their robust, reliable vehicles perhaps. And even back then, the boffins at Subaru were keeping things simple but clever. No fancy automatic gearboxes here. Just good old-fashioned row-your-own windows down and manual shifters. 3 pedals and a handbrake. The way motoring was meant to be. None of that newfangled paddle business. Oh no. Now the 1500 might not have had the grunt or gadgets of today's Subaru legends like the Impreza WRX, of course. No rally-bred turbochargers or symmetrical all-wheel drive just yet, but it laid the foundations for decades of Subaru durability and that satisfying flat-4 soundtrack. And as usual, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and enable the notifications button to see more videos. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content.